Alright guys, today we're going to be building your basic backyard fire pit, right? So here we go. Alright guys, so this is the area that we're going to use here in the back, and as you can see I got all rocks back here. I've kind of made like a little indent, you can see right there, of where I want to put it, so it's far enough away from the fence and far enough away from the deck, all that kind of stuff, because it's going to be a fire. And so now we're just going to set our tape measure to 3 feet, because I'm going to make a 3-foot diameter circle, and we're going to kind of lay out, show you how I laid this out, where the fire pit is going to be before you go head to the store and buy your stones. So now that I kind of got this mocked up where I want it, we're just going to go ahead and leave the tape measure here, and we will start moving some of these rocks out of the way. Alright, so I've moved the camera to get a better angle. We got the tape measure still there, so let's just go ahead and use this tape measure as a guide as we open up this hole and move some of the rocks out of the way to make our circle so we can get down to the dirt for the fire pit. Here we go. Alright guys, so here's all the stones that I got from the home improvement store. And all I did was take my 3-foot diameter circle, went to the store, laid them out on the floor there, determined how many I needed per layer, and then multiplied that by the layers, and there's your stones. Alright guys, so here we go back over at the hole that we got ready, and we're just going to go ahead and go over the pavers here real quick. So this is the basic paver. You got the top of it, which is your textured, right? And then the bottom of it is smooth. Of course, obviously that'll be the side that is down towards the ground and that you'll stack on top of. Okay, for the top side of the paver, you're going to have the angle cuts on each side so that you can make a circle out of them. And then you got the front textured side, which will be shown on the outside. So this will be, then you'll have your inside right here. We'll go towards the end, towards the fire, and there's a textured top on it. So let's just go ahead and start laying these out and see how we did here with our circle. Alright guys, so it looks like I have a couple extra stones here. So if we count them and go all the way around, I only have 10 laid down. And there's 11 and 12 right there. So obviously I didn't make a big enough area for the pit. So let's just go ahead here and see what I did wrong. So I'm going to grab my tape measure here, set it to my 3-foot diameter circle, and look at that. Okay, so obviously since I couldn't fit the 12 stones in that I had designed, I didn't make the pit or the diameter of the circle big enough for clearing the rocks out. You can see right here, it doesn't quite go all the way out. I'm missing almost like a whole stone's width in diameter that I should have pushed it out a little bit more. So let's just go ahead and remedy that right now. Alright, so now that we've got it all laid out, what I'm going to do is slide all these rocks up against it, because what I want to do is bury this bottom layer in the rocks, and then there'll only be 3 layers protruding above it, and the 4th layer will be secured in the ground. If you didn't have rocks, what I would do would be to dig a hole, but since I already have the rocks in the backyard, I'm doing it this way. But if you were doing it on like a plain dirt backyard, say with grass or something, you'd want to dig a hole and put the first layer at least halfway buried into the ground and give it some stability. But instead, I am just going to go ahead and bury it in the rocks. Alright, so here is our finished circle with the bottom layer buried in the rocks, and what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and build this up. Alright guys, so here we are. This is a perfect example of what I was telling you about earlier. You can see the pit, and that we've got 1, 2, 3 layers showing above the rock. Yet you can clearly see on the inside there's 4 layers. Right? So that 4th bottom layer is buried inside the rock. So I'm just going to go ahead and go around this and make sure that all the rocks are nice and secure around that base layer and covering it up. And then we should be all set. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and make some minor adjustments. Make sure that everything is snug and round and just in the places that I want it. So I'm just going to adjust a few of these here. Make sure that my circle is stacked on top of the previous ones, nice and tight. They're all touching, making sure that it's all laid out the way that I want it. So that's pretty much how I did mine. There you have it right there. Some other things that I'm thinking in the future that I haven't decided on is all these can be secured down, right? So if you wanted to go ahead and take like this stone, for instance, right, and glue them down to each other, they do make an adhesive that you can get at the store to put these all together and glue them down, right? So you would just take these off, squirt it on the bottom here, set it back down, and then they wouldn't move. So it's just whether or not you want to do that or not, or if you want to be able to take this whole thing with you, if you say move houses, if you want to be able to take it apart, or if you just want to move it in your backyard. That is the decision that is up to you on whether or not you want to glue it or just leave it loose like this. And that's just personal preference. So I will let you guys figure that out. I'll decide later if I'm going to do that or not. For right now, I'm just going to leave it like this. Alright guys, so here we go, the finished fire pit, working in all its glory. Go ahead and check out some of the other videos that I have. Click that subscribe button if you like what you see, and I'll be posting some more up fairly soon. Alright, see you guys next time.